Shot from distance. Oh! Armenia score a sensational goal in Yerevan. The Republic of Ireland find themselves behind with 16 minutes remaining. Absolutely nothing that Caoimhín Kelleher could do. Must have been all of 30 yards out. Smashed into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, he plays for Krasnodar in Russia. Edward Spertian with that 1-0 victory for Armenia. A brilliant goal from outside the box in the second half. Nothing that Caoimhín Kelleher could do about it. We should have possibly closed down the player instead. You can text us 53106. John Duggan with you through until 5 this evening, reacting to this breaking news, this result. We had the full commentary there with Nathan Murphy and Vinny Perth. And let's go back to our match summariser, the former League of Ireland winning boss with Dundalk, Vinny Perth. And Vinny, this is a setback, no question about it. It just kind of conjures all the memories of Luxembourg at home, Azerbaijan at home, and there seems to be a consistency issue with the Republic of Ireland team.
Yeah, I don't think we can have too many complaints. Those of us who have supported Stephen have given him the backing and went on shows and different things and said there was something building with this Irish team. Look, I think they've moved a long way from where they were coming. The rebuild needed to happen. But this is a hammer blow to that. This is a really difficult night for Stephen, for the squad. Not just the defeat. Defeats can happen, but I think the performance in the second half and albeit the first half was good, we just ran out of ideas, John. We didn't test their goalkeeper. We are a superior side to them on paper, and it didn't work out that way in the pitch. And Stephen and the staff have got some questions to answer on that result tonight, and they'll get criticised heavily. And it would be difficult and hard to argue with some of the criticism coming their way.
It's flooding in here on Twitter. Caoimhín in touch to say being behind Kenny 100%. However, at some stage you have to start delivering results. Back to square one again feels worse than the Luxembourg result. Joseph Lennon, terrible day for Irish football. We haven't turned up again against a supposed minnow. Where do we go from here? Lipsy, we seem to be trying too hard for the perfect final pass into the box. No one willing to take a shot on themselves. And Declan Furlong, that was really terrible. Nothing much more to say. To the outlandish texts, some of them 53106 is what you get when you appoint a guy with a CV barely one step up from a fantasy football manager as the National League manager. Let Robbie Keane take the squad for the next 3 games, then find a proper manager over the summer. That's from Colin. Colin, that is way too harsh. That is completely over the top, that text. But thank you for texting in 53106. Is it the case that players are tired at the end of the season, Vinny, or Stephen and his coaching staff haven't had enough time on the pitch? Is it the heat? What could you pinpoint the reasons were for such an abject display in that second half?
No, it's the same for both teams, John. Like they have a couple of players playing in Russia, and obviously there's very little football being played there, and their season's over as well. No, that's just they're just excuses, to be honest with you. It was just a lackluster performance. It wasn't good enough. I suppose. I'm not defending myself, but to put it out there that, like, I spoke before about the shape and the system. I think it suits when we play the bigger nations. If you think about it, our best performances have been against the bigger nations, where we struggled against some of the lesser nations. And like Seamus Coleman is a national hero. He's an outstanding footballer. He's been brilliant for a long period of time. But I don't recall once him making an overlapping run to hurt the opposition down the sides. To be fair, Enda Stevens done it sometimes, and we lack that. And this sort of 3-4-3 shape is very good. But when you're playing against a team where we'd over 65% of the ball today, and we've had 2 shots on target, tells you, for me, there's something wrong with the system, something wrong with our style of play, and it's not just. The performance there's a little bit. The staff have to have a hard look at that, I think, and it's just hasn't been good enough. When you look at the goal, there was a catalogue of errors. Obafemi's come on and hasn't done well enough to hold the ball up. He's got punished, and they've taken the big moment and scored. And the problem with it is, as much as we 65% the ball, you wouldn't say we were harshly treated by that result. It's probably a fair result come the end.
Kirsten Rodriguez for Luxembourg, Emin Makhmoudov for Azerbaijan, Edward Spertian for Armenia. The common denominator is shots from outside the box. Is there an issue with concentration, switching off, closing the player down? It's happened before.
Yeah, it comes on the turnover. Egan and it was John Egan and one of the Irish defenders. Both of them went for a ball, and it ended up at Josh Cullen's feet, and he tried to pick Obafemi's feet out, who got just got out muscled by their centre half. And then, like, the Armenian midfielder has the ball, he checks inside Jeff Hendrick, who throws a leg out. It'd be harsh to be critical of Jeff Hendrick from that one, and he shoots from distance and the goalkeeper can't do anything about it. Look, we've conceded some really good goals in those lists you've given, but at the same time, look, we've got two sitting midfielders in Hendrick and Cullen. You'd like to think they can close a lot more of the shots down, but yeah, on that goal there today, it's hard to say it's a system error. It's just it's a bit of brilliance, and but I think the problems are deeper than that. In terms of what's happened there today, the problems are a lot deeper than that.
If they're deeper, what are the deeper problems?
Well, we haven't created enough goal scoring chances. Our front three have played really well. They're exciting front three. Robinson is really good players, we know. Chiedozie Benya has been a live wire for Ireland. Troy Parrott played really well at stages, coming in off the left, getting some shots off. They were blocked, but he was a threat. Their inter-movement in the first half was really good, but we haven't seen, and I go back to it, we haven't seen a Seamus Coleman on an overlap with a brilliant cross. We've seen Enda Stevens do it once or twice. We haven't, when teams play with that back three, you think of the ones that spring to mind. You think of, say, a Chelsea. You see Azpilicueta sometimes playing right of a tree, and he breaks into that space, and he's putting the ball out to Reece James, who's really high up the pitch, and a brilliant delivery. We're not getting that from our players, and because we have a lot of the ball, but we're not making enough forward passes, and we don't have enough dynamism, enough real high energy players when we play against a team who are going to let us have the ball. And that's where I see the slight problem.
So against weaker teams, it's maybe a 4-4-2 or something like that, a different system, different types of players, and then maybe against the other teams that you need a bit of experience, it's a different
look, I'll probably get some criticism for this. First of all, I'm speaking about someone who's a personal friend. He's the head coach, worked with him for a long time, and I'm sitting in the cheap seats. I'm watching the game from the stand, so it is easy to come up with this. But yeah, whatever that system is, whether it's 4-2-3-1, whatever it is, where you've got two fullbacks who are willing to get on because you're dominant. You've got two out and out wingers, and we have them, I feel, in the team. And whether it's even a Troy Parrott playing off the left to allow Enda Stevens as a natural fullback getting forward and crosses into the box, and whether, I know we don't have the 10, and Will Keane wasn't brilliant in when he's come on, and what he's done for him. He's been brilliant for Wigan. Alan Brown gets goals from that position. I just think we need to change our system. I've said it before, but I think we need to change our system against weaker teams or teams that allow us to have 65% of the play.
The good thing, I suppose, is that, Vinny, we can put it right on Wednesday against Ukraine. It's going to come thick and fast, these games. Yeah,
the concern will be, we've seen Ukraine against Scotland, and I thought they were outstanding in that game. What does sort of, Ukraine have had some big games. The rest of the world will want Ukraine to win as well. We've seen that when they were playing Scotland. So I suppose the hope is the emotional sort of energy that Ukraine have had to expend in those games. They play Wales this weekend. Will there be much left in them when they come to Dublin? And that might be a little bit of luck that we need, but we need a big win soon now. And Stephen, the staff need it, and the players need it, and to quieten the noise around this team. There's going to be a lot of noise around this team over the next couple of hours and days, and it's hard to argue and make a case for where we're at the moment.
Yeah, well, we see excellent performances against Portugal and Serbia, but if you can't beat the weaker teams, you can't progress. And I think that's the worry that we have, that we can't put to bed the weaker teams, and it's been a consistent trend. So, are the players? Are they going to be? Is there confidence an issue now in the next few days? It's very important, the tone that's set and what is said and what work is done. These are a very important few days for Stephen Kenny and his coaching staff.
Yeah, it's a huge few days for the staff, I suppose. And one thing is, they've been here before, they've had some disappointed results, and they have at different stages bounced back, so they'll have experience of that. Look, I would say we've a really strong squad. I would say the players that come off the bench today didn't make enough of an impact. So players have to take some responsibility as well. But ultimately, it's the manager and the staff who are going to get the criticism for today. So, no, it's a difficult couple of days coming up. I think it helps that there's a game very quickly to focus the mind. I don't think it would have been good if this was the last game of the summer and we would have had a couple of months off for people to discuss this. I think it's important that they bounce back and get ready for Ukraine. Albeit I hope and suspect there'll be a weakened Ukraine on Wednesday, but there will be some excuses in terms of the heat, in terms of the championship season has finished a while ago, the Premiership season, but that's the same from all teams at international level, more or less. So that's not good enough. Tonight's not good enough, and we've got to look in the mirror. And this is, as I said, a hammer blow for the rebuild of this Irish team under Stephen Kenny.
Any players that did well that you felt?
Well, look, Jeff Hendrick was really good in the game. He created a lot of. He had a real forward-thinking mindset right up until sort of the later stages of the game. I would say to you, like, our players didn't particularly play too bad. We just didn't create enough chances, and you would say our weaker players were probably Egan, Duffy, and Seamus Coleman, and they didn't give us enough. Josh Cullen was quiet. I have question marks. I think he's really impressed me of late, but when you play in that deep position against a weakened team, that's when you've got to be brilliant. That's when you've got to pick those passes, forward passes between the lines, and he's got to do more of that for me. Look, the front three are really good for him. The front three, whatever combination we come up with, there's something to be excited about, something we can build on there. But now, John, it is a difficult day for us. Yeah,
Benny missed a good chance before half-time, didn't he? Anybody you'd bring in then on Wednesday?
Oh, look, I think we've got to freshen the team up. Alan Brown came on, had good energy. The game was gone against us a little bit. We'll have to assess where Ukraine are at, how the result goes from the weekend, what sort of players they bring. I'll give you one example. If Obafemi hadn't come on today, we'd be calling out for him because the form he's in. But he came on today and was poor. Will King came on and was poor enough as well. So you wonder whether Seamus Coleman can go again. And if he doesn't, who can play in that wing-back position? I know Chidozie Obenya has done it for a club level. I'd like to see him go there because give him a go in that sort of wing-back position if we're going to stick to that system. And the Stevens done quite well today. Hasn't played loads of football, so there's a lot to sort out in this team. It's going to be a difficult couple of days travelling back and getting the team ready to go again. So Jason Knight didn't do well when he came on, but you'd like to think we probably need him in the team and his energy.
Well, hopefully be a full house on Wednesday night at the Aviva Stadium for Ireland against Ukraine, and hopefully the result will be better than that, because that's not a good day. But Vinny Perth, we got to wrap it up. Thanks so much for speaking to Off the Ball Saturday on News Talk, and we'll chat soon.
Appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Vinny Perth there after the 1-0 defeat to Armenia in the Nations League opener in Yerevan. Remember our football coverage on Off the Ball thanks to Sky, proud partner of the women's national football team. Out Believe together, and we can go anywhere. You can text us any comments or questions to 53106.